Hey friends, welcome back to another Q&A video. I feel like I got a lot of good and a little bit different questions this past week. Sometimes it feels like I just get the same exact questions over and over every week, but I got some different ones. So I'm excited about answering some questions today. Charity is at piano lessons right now, so I'm just killing time waiting for her. Perfect opportunity to chat for a little bit about all different things. Before we get going, this video is sponsored today by Element. I never leave my house without Element. Seriously, if there's some time where I accidentally forget to bring my big cup full of Element, it's like I'm missing, it feels like I'm missing something. And when I do go out, especially with my children, I have to make sure I bring a very big bottle of electrolytes because they are constantly stealing some of mine. They never remember to bring their own, always taking mom's. So Element is an electrolyte drink mix. It comes in these really convenient little sticks. I probably have, multiple of these in every single pocket of every bag and purse that I own because I'm constantly like, oh, I can't run out. So I throw another one in there. So I always have them on hand. They help me stay hydrated, but I also really enjoy the taste. So I love sipping on it throughout the day. Like I said, my kids do as well, and I feel really good about giving it to them because it has no weird ingredients, no artificial flavors or colors. It's just all the good stuff without the junk. So right now, Element is offering my viewers a special deal. You can get a sample pack that contains 8 of their regular flavors, like 1 stick of each of their flavors, and you can try them all out, see which ones you like the best. To get that deal, all you have to do is use my link, drinkelement.com/indigo, drinklmnt.com/indigo. Follow that link, purchase any of the drink mixes on the site, and you will automatically get the sample pack added. Thanks to Element for sponsoring today, and now let's get into the questions. I have a couple questions first about like my macros and what I'm doing with my nutrition. It was some comments left on one of my weekly wellness videos that I do with Jonathan Shane. So the first one was from Michelle asking, are you tracking total carbs or net carbs? So the answer is overall I'm tracking total carbs. So when I say I'm eating 100 carbs a day, that's total. But I am also paying attention to net carbs because one thing Jonathan wants me to do to get some more hormone balance and different things is get some actual starch carbohydrates. He said primarily starch, although I can do, some fruit and stuff like that as well. So some sugar. So if I'm only eating a whole bunch of fiber, that's not going to get me, like if I eat 100 grams of fiber per day, which that would be a little difficult. But if I did, it wouldn't be doing exactly what what I wanted to do, which is actually spike my insulin every once in a while because that can be good for you if you need it. So I'm counting total carbs, but I'm also paying attention to if I'm really low in net carbs, I want to try to get more of the starchy foods rather than like he was talking about in a recent video, not doing like the keto bars that maybe have like 15 grams of carbohydrates, but it's mostly fiber, mostly, sugar, alcohols, and that kind of stuff. So I don't want that to be the primary carb that I get. I want to actually get some of the starchy and sugary carbs. And so I do pay attention to net. So I guess both. Next one is also about carbs. The question from GMA Andy 333 asking, are you able to achieve ketosis with 50 carbs per day? So I was doing kind of carb cycling where I did 100 grams of carbs per day on my workout days and 50 grams of carbs on my rest days. And it's changed now. I'm now doing 100 grams of carbs every day, but I did want to go ahead and answer the question about 50 grams of carbs. So the answer is I'm not sure. So the way people, that is very loud. I think someone started weed whacking or something. I hope that's not too loud in the video. Okay. So anyways, are you able to achieve ketosis with 50 grams of carbs per day? And it depends on what you mean by achieve ketosis. As far as a blood ketone monitor, probably not. I probably am not above that 0.5 millimolar ketones to achieve a nutritional ketosis level. Now, there are other people that say you don't have to be at that level to be in ketosis. Your body can be producing ketones and can be burning ketones, but you're using them up fast, and so you're not seeing them on the blood monitors. So I could be in that state. I mean, if you're only getting 50 grams of carbs and a lot of it is fiber, then that's not a lot for your body to run on. So the idea is you probably are producing and using ketones. There's just not extra floating around in your bloodstream that is being picked up on the blood monitor. So depends on how you look at it, I guess. Next is from Donna May 1150, and she asks, is whey protein kind of interchangeable with keto chow? I know keto chow has extra vitamins and minerals and tastes great, but for a cheaper choice, sometimes will the whey protein powder work almost as well as a shake, or are they not comparable? Thanks. So as far as in recipes, I think keto chow and whey protein would be interchangeable. I can't say for sure because I haven't tried all the recipes, but I think it probably would. I know keto chow has a little bit of acacia fiber in it, so that could, if you do a recipe with keto chow and you want to replace it with the whey protein, maybe add a little bit of acacia fiber, but the amount of acacia fiber that's in keto chow, since they changed their formulation recently, is very, very low. So I don't think it really makes a huge difference, but that's the only thing I can think of that you might want to, add if you're doing the whey protein instead of the keto chow. But I do expect in a lot of recipes that it would work just as well. But I can't say that with, a lot of confidence because I personally haven't tried a lot of recipes using whey protein. I do want to get into more whey protein recipes. I just haven't taken the time to do it yet, but I'm hoping to. So if you have any favorite recipes that include whey protein, let me know. I would love to try them, and it would be interesting just to take keto chow recipes and make them with whey protein and see if that works as well. I do expect you would get a pretty good result. Next question is from Sandra, and she is asking, are you taking the colostrum and also eating the Reuteri yogurt? I have to say it all those ways because someone will tell me I'm saying it wrong, but there's still probably another way to say it, and I'm still saying it wrong. So anyways, no matter how you pronounce it, are you taking the colostrum and the Reuteri? And the answer is I'm taking only the colostrum currently. I am not doing the Reuteri, and that is just because I haven't gotten back into the habit of making it. I kept talking about it. I'm like, I need to get back into the habit of making it. And then I started working with Jonathan, and he wanted me to cut out dairy for a while. And so I didn't want to work on the coconut milk yogurt. I just haven't gotten to it. And now that I'm adding a little bit more dairy back into my life, right now I'm at like 1 serving a day. Maybe once I get back to 2 servings a day, I can start doing more of the Reuteri, because I would like to do it. I think it's a great thing to add just, long term. The probiotics in there are something different than you're going to get from colostrum. The colostrum has tons and tons of benefits, but it's not a fermented food as far as I know. So you're not getting the probiotics. So doing both, I think, is ideal and great if you can do it. But right now I am just doing the colostrum and hoping to add the Reuteri back soon. Have a couple more questions here about the yogurt. I do get a lot of yogurt questions these days. So the question is from Radical Veg 00. May I ask how much yogurt you ate on a daily basis? Dr. Davis suggests 1 cup a day, and I've been doing that with no effect so far. I'm thinking of upping it to 1 cup. The Reuteri yogurt is delicious, and I could happily consume any amount that would work to fix SIBO. Yes, I found also that it is very delicious, and I would have no problem eating a cup or more every day because it's so good. So when I was using it in conjunction with my SIBO killing protocol, I ate at least a half a cup a day, and oftentimes I would eat more. I don't think there's any negatives to eating more. I'm not a doctor, so I can't say for sure, but for me, I didn't see any negatives. If your digestion is sensitive, and sometimes people can have digestive issues with the Reuteri and those probiotics when they, first get added back into their diet. So if, you might want to start slow is what I'm saying, like try a little bit and then gradually increase. You wouldn't want to jump to like a cup and a half a day if, you've never had it before and you don't really know. But as far as I can tell, at least a half a cup is a good therapeutic amount, but more is no issue unless you have specific digestive issues from it. Next is from Lala Real 180. You said in one of your older Q&As about the yogurt that you could fill 4 quart jars into the Instant Pot, but you can't use the trivet or silicone sling. You used a silicone mat to lift it up a little, but still had room. What was it you used? So yes, when in the 8-quart Instant Pot, the Instant Pot Pro, I can fit 4 1-quart wide mouth, either wide mouth or regular mouth jars. And so I can make 4 quarts of yogurt at a time, which is fantastic. And I do get the question, why don't you just make the yogurt in the Instant Pot liner itself? And you totally can do that. It works great. I just prefer having it in the container already, where I can just pop the lid on and throw it in the fridge. That just is more convenient than, chilling it in the pot and then trying to scoop it into another container and then having to wash the pot. I find it easier just to do it in the jars and throw it straight into the fridge. So anyways, I can do 4 jars in the Instant Pot at a time. And what I use is just a little silicone hot pad. I don't even remember where I got it. I think it came with something else I was ordering from Amazon, like a little free gift thing. But you can find these little, it's just, I don't know, maybe 1/4 of an inch. And with that, I'm able to keep the jars off the bottom of the Instant Pot, but it's not so high that the lid is still able to go on. So that's what I use. Next question is from Pat Reed 2228. And the question is, do you have a cookbook out for sale? If so, how do I get it? So I do have a cookbook, and last I saw it was still on Amazon. I think it still is. But it is called the Healthy Instant Pot Mini Cookbook. And I have to always put the disclaimer out that it is not keto. My channel for a long time was really focused on Instant Pot recipes back when the Instant Pot first came out. That's kind of how I got a lot of subscribers. And so I had a lot of popular Instant Pot recipes, and they weren't keto. I've been on different diets all throughout my life, and it's only been in the last 5 years or so that I really settled on like a high protein, keto-ish, low carb diet. And so before that, I was doing all different kinds of recipes, and then recipes for my family that were not even close to keto. So that's how I was known. I was approached by a publishing company, and they had a series of different books, and they had this one, the Instant Pot Mini Cookbook that they wanted me to do. And even though there was healthy in the title, they had, their own ideas of what that meant. They did want whole grains and different things like that. So I followed their guidelines on what they wanted. And one thing that I did do is, on all of the recipes, they're all labeled, whether it's dairy-free or vegan or keto. There's not very many vegan ones, but there's keto, so it'll say keto-friendly on it. I also made sure that I included substitutions for keto. So if it's, there was a Greek chicken dish where I cooked the rice in the Instant Pot with the chicken. It's really good with lemon and all kinds of Greek seasoning. And I have, in the notes, a way to make it keto with cauliflower rice. So there are a lot of keto recipes or recipes that can be made keto. So I did try to put that in there, but overall the book is not keto. I have been asked many times to make a cookbook for my keto recipes and things. And that's something that I would consider. My husband was actually trying to talk me into it recently, and I'm like, I don't know if I could do another thing, but it is something that would be fun if I can have the energy and the time to get it done. So put in the comments if you want me to make a cookbook. Maybe that'll encourage me to make it happen. Next, I have 2 questions that are about bread, and they are very similar. So I'm going to try to answer both of them. The first one is, can you substitute allulose with something paleo in egg white bread? And then the second question is, can you use monk fruit? So as far as substituting allulose overall, the allulose is not for sweetness in the bread. It is for texture, and it is for browning. It allows the bread to brown. Without it, you get a really, really white loaf. And it's a different texture. It's not as good. It's not as soft. It's more crumbly. It's just the allulose works magic in the bread, and it's not for sweetness. So if you don't put allulose in, you don't really have to put a different sweetener in, because you're not going to get the same effects from the allulose. And unless you want the bread a little bit sweet, you like the flavor that it gives, you don't have to though. If you want to do something paleo, because they specifically asked about a paleo substitute, paleo is not necessarily low carb, and you can use things like honey, maple syrup, coconut sugar. Anything that is actually sugar should work for browning. Allulose browns a little more and more deeply than sugar, but you should get some browning if you just add some kind of sugar. So any of those three. The maple syrup might give a little bit of a flavor, maybe not because it's not very much, but anything that has just actual sugar in it should help the bread to brown and hopefully give more of that soft texture that you're looking for. Last question, and I thought this would be a fun one to end on. It's from Bobby, and he asks, just curious, a nosy question. I don't really think it's nosy. Does the tag indigo come from indigo children or the color of your eyes or something else entirely? And that's a good question. I don't think it's nosy because it's my public name. So I totally think it's fine to ask. I've answered it several times, but it's been a while, so it's a good thing to revisit. So when I started using the name Indigo, I wasn't aware of indigo children, indigo girls, all that stuff. That was not even on my radar. Actually, my name, Nili, N-I-L-I, is a Hebrew word, and there are some different meanings for the word, and if you speak Hebrew, you can feel free to chime in with your thoughts. But from my understanding, the word Nili is the name of a plant, and it is a plant that produces peas, a pea plant. And this particular pea plant has indigo flowers. So the word Nili is also used for the color indigo. So when I learned that about my name, I started using indigo. Whenever you have to put a name in and you don't really want to put your real name in, I would just put in indigo. And then when I, had my YouTube channel, I was like, indigo, why not? It just was like my alter ego name. And so I just put in Indigo, and then I still have my first name, Nili. So when someone calls me Indigo, I don't mind. Someone calls me Nili, I answer to either. I don't get offended about that. So Indigo, just my name in English, I guess. So that's going to be it for this Q&A video. Thanks for hanging out. If you have any more burning questions that you want me to answer, put them down in the comments and I will try to get to them on another video. Bye, guys.